let's get into the main topics, and we can talk about that one later. But for now, let us get into the main topics here. And the first one, this is one that dropped yesterday, which was on my birthday. And since I haven't had a celebration yet, it's apart from the drawings my kids made for me. It's actually the best birthday present I've gotten yet. And that would be this: Fallout renewed for season 2 at Amazon. Now, Paul, I haven't had time to see your review video yet because I just finished season 1 of Fallout myself. But based on what you've been saying before, I can only imagine that you must be happy about these news.
Yeah, I think it's really good. They after a rocky first episode start, they really kicked it into gear, and they've done a fantastic job of also getting you involved in other people's stories, which is the fault. One of the biggest problems with Rings of Power is that you don't care about anybody. But one of the beautiful things of Lord of the Rings is how you really get into each of the little groups, Pippin and then Frodo and what he's doing, and Gandalf. You split up the teams, and you're really fascinated, with what each of the teams are doing and how the story is constructing around them. And I think they've done just a fantastic job, because I love the Vault Dwellers. I'm trying to remember everybody's names, but the mystery of the vaults is now really, really cool, and what's happening with Lucy, and it's just I think they've done a fantastic job of it.
You know what it reminded me of with the whole vaults and the mysteries and stuff like that? Lost, when it was good.
Yeah.
So the first season of Lost, when everyone loved Lost before they got themselves completely lost in mystery boxes and stuff like that, before it really lost its way, Lost was a fairly interesting, cool, and intriguing series. I felt the exactly same way here with the vaults. And to be clear, I have never played any of the games. I don't know the lore from the games or anything like that. I did some research after having seen the series, and that actually impressed me with it even more. But like just this revelation with the vaults, I thought that was absolutely fantastic as well. And like, it was late, I needed to go to bed, but when you really got into the what's with Vault 31, I was like, I can't go to sleep now. I have to see one more. It's been such a long time where I felt I have to see another. I have to see another. I haven't had that feeling in years. This season 1 of Fallout is honestly the coolest, most engaging TV series I have seen for years. I'm very happy about season 2. And I see many complaining about like commie mysteries and stuff, or messaging in it. I think I'm going to do a video about that, because here there's obviously a lot we don't know yet. I don't know the where the official canon stands on the commie matter and stuff like that. But there's a lot to dig into there, with both the historical context and the how the corporations acted and everything like that. I don't think anyone should be jumping to conclusions about the messaging just yet, though I don't blame some for doing that.
Yeah, the commie reference refers to the fact that in the game the Chinese were instrumental in nuking the world, and in this case, sorry, spoiler alert, or maybe I should shut up.
No, well, yeah, okay, yeah. There's also
I won't reveal it, but I don't believe people who are freaking out about capitalists doing bad things. I'm a capitalist. We're all capitalists here. But you can't have an ironic story about capitalists overreaching. That makes it communist. That's really their argument, and I think they're full of shit.
Yeah.
So,
and also, as we see here, the Vault-Tec and what they're doing, yeah, they may use terms like fiduciary duty and stuff like that. But I think that's what they're really doing is what someone else is doing who aren't necessarily pure capitalists, but there was an unholy alliance
Yeah.
between corporations and government going on there. And the moment that happens, you are no longer dealing with capitalism. The moment that a corporation starts doing a nation's bidding, which is what happened here in this universe, you
Yeah.
are in the realm of true Italian fascism.
Well, and during some kind of downturn, capitalist companies will turn to the government to get them bailed out. I mean that there's there's such nuance. You can't really nail it down to one thing. But the people have completely misinterpreted the Vault-Tec involvement,
Yeah.
and I think it's funny, and I think it's appropriate. I think it's a I think
Absolutely. And I do see where people are coming from. Alex Ashkan says people got a little bit overprotective after commie messaging and Hollywood stuff lately.
oh,
And yeah, and that's completely fair. That
gun
is
shy.
100% fair.
Yeah, people are gun shy.
And
I totally get it.
and I also think that the messaging may be like a little bit confused because of that as well, because there you might have like some competing agendas, which wouldn't be the first time that you've seen this in Hollywood, where the source material has one kind of messaging and Hollywood disagrees with it and changes up a little bit. This has happened before, but we don't know enough yet about the background lore that the series is going with, because we still don't know details about how the the ghoul himself went from being, this is not too much of a spoiler, but he obviously went from being a very pro-American capitalist early in his story
Right.
to when the series begins as the bombs drop. So this is literally not a spoiler, this is like the first scene of the series. By that point in time, he is no longer a movie star. He has to do other kinds of jobs
Right.
to sustain his family and himself. And he's now being accused of being a commie. And it's very clear to anyone watching he isn't.
No, he's not. No,
So there's more going on here. There's
yeah,
much more going on here than meets the eye. And I
I
think it's too early to make that verdict just
and I
yet.
think what's difference between this and Lost is that Lost extended the mystery boxes for way too long. That was its downfall. In with Fallout, number one, yes, I think you've got legitimate mystery boxes because they're impenetrable and people are trying to find out what was going on with Vault 31. How come every overseer in Vault 33 comes from 31? These are really clever things. These are, and then you've got the one guy, Norman, who is trying to find that out. And the thing is that what makes this show work is that the mystery boxes are kind of closed. Like mysteries are great, and the fact that um, the in the Fallout universe, you've got about 120 vaults, so you've got over 100 mystery stories that can be revealed over time. Those are all good mystery boxes because you crack them open and then you solve them fairly quickly. The problem with the J.J. Abrams mystery box is that you've got one mystery box that lasts 4 seasons. I mean, this is his bullshit.
And it was both because they didn't even have an answer themselves. Here, I do believe that the showrunners have a complete answer. And this, and let's get back to this story a little bit before we move on. See what they're saying in it, because this renewal is one that came fast and furious because the series is a big hit.
Yeah.
Story here reads: Amazon isn't putting Fallout back in the vaults. The show from Kilter Films and executive producers Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy has been renewed for season 2. According to Amazon, the series debuted to stellar viewership, ranking among the service's 3 most watched titles ever and the most watched season globally since The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. You know what? I dispute that. I think that this may have been seen even more than The Lords of the Rings, The Rings of Power. I dispute the numbers that came from that because they went to such lengths to protect it, but it's not either here nor there.
But you understand that they need to piggyback that failed show on the success of this one.
Yeah, I understand that they need to do anything to
Correct.
maintain the illusion
Correct.
that the Ranks of Power wasn't the $1 billion loss for them that it was.
Yep. This makes perfect sense from a marketing perspective.
Yeah, indeed. Moving on with the quotes here. Like what they're saying here. Praise be to our insanely brilliant showrunners, Geneva Robertson Dworet and Graham Wagner, to our kick-ass cast, to Todd and James and all the legends at Bethesda, and to John Vernon and the amazing team at Amazon for their incredible support of this show. Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy of Kilter Films said in a joint statement, "We can't wait to blow up the world all over again." The showrunners added, "Holy shit, thank you to Jonna, Kilter, Bethesda, and Amazon for having the courage to make a show that gravely tackles all of society's most serious problems these days. Cannibalism in," and pause, test, Jello take a cake. More to come. Based on the video game, blah, 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 nobody cares. Yeah, that's the gist of it. And let's see if they say anything about when it can be expected to be released. And then it concludes with, "We are thrilled to announce season 2 after only 1 week out and take viewers even further into the surreal world of Fallout." It doesn't say anything specifically about when season 2 can be released, at least not that I can see by just skimming the article here. But I would imagine that they're going to try to rush this and that they probably are relatively far along in visualizing season 2 anyway, which you can see from the way that season 1 ends off. This is not an open ending. They know exactly what they're doing going forward. So, when do you think that we might be seeing season 2? My guess would be late 2025, year and a half from now.
Well, they're shooting it in Namibia, I believe. I wonder how easy it is to, keep the production going down there. Not that I don't think the sets are going to go. So yeah, it's very exciting. And you know what? Something has happened suddenly where I'm enjoying stuff on streaming and TV suddenly, where, for instance, Parasite the Grey, I think it's called Parasite the Grey, the Korean show, is fantastic. Netflix has released, I think, Family X Spy. What's it called? Sorry, it's called Spy X Family, which is an anime that's been done a while ago, but I've never seen it. I heard good things about it, and it is absolutely fantastic. And of course, The Gentleman is getting good ratings. I thought it was okay. It wasn't my favorite thing, but it is really stylish and super entertaining. So suddenly there's stuff to watch. I love a Spy X Family. It is fantastic, and Parasite I would recommend to anybody who likes that.
Paul, do you want to get another recommendation from me?
Sure.
You're gonna be shocked by this, but I told you before that I was going to give Foundation another try, right?
Yes.
I did. I suffered through all of season 1, and then I saw season 2, so now I'm fully up to date. You know what happens in season 2?
I started watching it and I couldn't continue.
It got good.
Really?
It got really, really engaging and good.
Wow. Okay.
They changed writer behind the scenes.
Really? Okay, because episode 1 I thought was much better than anything they did in season in season 1.
Uh,
Episode 1 of season 2 was far better than anything, but it didn't push me over the edge to keep watching.
Yeah, no, it's I don't blame you because I had to I first gave season 1 a try and I gave it like 2 3 episodes and I couldn't stand it and I quit. But then I heard that it got better and I was so fascinated by Empire, by the genetic dynasty with having three of the same emperors minted at different ages. I thought that was such a cool game mechanic that kept me intrigued enough to suffer through all the other boring stuff. And in season 2, it actually got really, really cool. The first episode you saw, I mean, it was better than anything in season 1, right? Only got better and more engaging from there.
Okay.
And by the end of season 2, I was like, okay, we are now up to Game of Thrones level, only in space. Let's see what season 3 can do.
But they shouldn't have called it Foundation then, because those 3 ruling clans never existed in the books.
No, but they're getting closer to the books again now. It would appear a little bit closer, at least.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your recommendations are
With
always good.
with a mule being released next. So it's still not Foundation from the books, but it's how about this? It's less further away. Less further away than it was.
Okay.
While becoming more entertaining TV in its own right.
Okay. I'll dip my toe back in.
So yeah. All right. And then let's see what you guys are saying about this in the chat before we move on to the next story here. Because we got a couple of other super chats, which I believe thinks of this. Pilgrim Media says, "I think Fallout deserves Emmys. Yes, and I do believe that Walton Goggins now deserves to get the Emmy that he hasn't gotten before, and it's about time. And that is one thing I'm very happy about. For
He's so good.
years, Tom and myself have been going on about how." Walton Goggins is the best actor of this generation. I mean, we use this meme of the "I fucking knew it." That's what
I fucking knew it! Oh!
That's not just because it's a cool meme and everything. That's because Walton Goggins is the fucking man when it comes to acting. That guy is so good. Everything he is in is elevated by his presence, and I'm so happy that his profile has reached significantly with this series. The only thing I'm not happy about is that we haven't reached out to him for an interview request years ago. Like, you seem to be much more difficult to get a hold of now than he would have been before.
He's the glue that holds it together. The actress who plays Lucy, Ella, was turned out far beyond my expectations.
She was brilliant too.
I don't mind the friendship between Maximus and Lucy, but I don't buy their love interest.
No, he needs to stick with the they them. They're a much better match. No, like he just came across as really personality-less to me. So if there's one character who was underserved, or yeah, it's Maximus, who is the one character who if I want to check my mobile, I'll do it when he's on screen.
Yeah, he's a personable actor. He's inoffensive, but it just but you can't have everything.
Yeah, you have to have everything. And then Chaos Sonic 1 says for $10, my problem on Fallout show is more of the game Fallout New Vegas, because the original people that made the first Fallout game made New Vegas, and Bethesda hate that, hence that they changed the lore in the show. That could be, I don't know too much about that.
The lore hasn't been changed. It happens several dozens, hundred. The show takes place before New Vegas. So technically, they haven't screwed with the lore yet.
Yeah, from what I understand, they haven't done it either. But again, if they really haven't done it, or if the media collectively decided to pull a Warhammer and pretend that they haven't done it, that I honestly couldn't tell you. So I have to go with what the experts are saying on that one.
Yeah, I mean, as far as
Uh,
Bethesda is concerned, they made money off of New Vegas. I'm sure they were just so unhappy.
yeah. And Neil89 says, found that about Fallout 76 and had to share. Oh, well, thanks for that. And to Neil89 says, those themes were all present in the lore. Okay, yeah, so then one has to look at the lore. Oh, and what T. Neil was referring to here, I believe, was this one. Till Neil89 said for $20 for Paul to be read in John Denver's song cadence. Tom, you're gonna have to help me out with this. I don't even know what John
Almost
Denver
loaded.
sounds like.
It's Virginia, blurry mountains, no textures in the river. I can't sing, but yeah, I know the song.
Life is bugged there. 2D paper trees, older than their engine. Oh no, here comes another freeze. Something like that, probably.
West
That was beautiful.
Virginia.
Take me home, Fallout show. I don't know.
Take me home,
Take me
Fallout. Oh, yeah.
home, West Virginia. Yeah, I never
Yeah.
played Fallout 76.
Yeah, that's what he's referring to about Fallout 76. That's this John Denver thing.
Yeah, but it's really clear that the people involved respected the lore. Respect maybe isn't the right word, but really enjoy the game. Completely opposite to the instructions that the Witcher writers and producers were given, saying we hate the author, we hate the stories, and we hate Cavill. Let's go. Let's
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and on to Neil also says, "Thank you for making a show that doesn't suck." Yeah,
It doesn't.
they really did that.
It is so good, and it's so funny the gags in there and the little side characters, and yeah, especially the characters in the in that institute where they were going to cut up Lucy into pieces. And the guys were just so nonchalant. I mean, it's very, very funny. And then Lucy, does the wrong thing, forcing them to open up open up all the cages, and she's just so optimistic and wants to do such good left-wing things for the people. And it turns out, no, that was actually the wrong decision. I mean, that actually was a parody of socialist ideals, saying there's no bad person and it's society's fault and it's the capitalists, and so she actually let all these monsters out of their cages, and it was the wrong thing to do. So that was great. You can't
It
say
was also another thing. It was also cult mentality.
Yes,
she is someone that has been in a cult, and this was literally said later on as well, that she's are you familiar with the series The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, which is a woman, like, she's just like that. She is someone that has been inside of a cult, and she's suddenly confronted with the real world, and she has no idea to behave. It's another reason that I really enjoyed this series. And
watching her education.
Yes, exactly. I have to watch it again. I just enjoyed it that much.
Well, the conversation when her and Maximus were walking along the train tracks, and I don't know if you saw that yet, where she was talking about.
I've seen the whole series.
Pardon me? Yeah. So
yeah,
that conversation where she was talking about, wow, I'm completely wrong about what's happening up here, and there's some very funny, ironic lines about how she's gotten everything wrong. I thought that was fantastic, and she's learning. I mean, that's a terrific sequence.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's absolutely yes. I could not agree more with that. A Low Hunter $4.99 says, "Glad some like Fallout, but I'm tired of post-apocalyptic sci-fi. Is anyone doing something else? Why not? Well, I can answer the why
I
not
agree.
right away. Lockdowns. Many people are going to associate more with post-apocalyptic because the world is different now. In a way, not in a literal sense, because the world is still here and everything, but I think that in a spiritual way, we have been through an apocalypse. And I think that is reflected in why we're getting so many post-apocalyptic
Well,
themed series and movies right now.
the only caveat I would add is that I have found the streaming shows really pushed hard on post-apocalyptic even before COVID. It just, to me, that was one of my jokes, is that, do we need another post-apocalyptic show? They made tons of them before COVID. They continue to make them. It's a trope in anime, and we're getting there's the girls in, I can't remember the name of the show that was just pushed. It's a brand new show about some girls in a post-apocalyptic environment. And then you had that thing where the people couldn't talk. The movies where it featured that couple, and if they made any sounds, then suddenly these creatures would hear them and come attack them. So we are in the middle of nothing but this. What a post-apocalyptic, and I got tired of it too. What I do like about Fallout is that they're now dealing with humor.
Yeah. And on that note, is there something else? Tom, I believe that Stallone has a series that is not post-apocalyptic and very worth checking out, and a little bit funny too, doesn't he?
Hey, yo, yeah. Yeah, the Tulsa King one is great. I know you said earlier that the one show you've been watching, it's the first show. You can't wait for the next episode or whatever.
Well, yeah, okay,
For
but
me,
that's that. Yeah, but
for me,
bad
that was
example
Tulsa
because
King.
Foundation is in a sense a little bit post-apocalyptic. So
I
that's
was
a
gonna
bad
say that,
example
like,
there. Yeah.
Tulsa King was that for me, and then before that it was The Offer. But yeah, no, they're few and far between. But that's definitely one of them. Tulsa King was one that I couldn't wait for the next week's episode when it was dropping live, and can't wait for the second season. So yeah, so there's some good stuff out there. You just gotta find it.
Yeah, and before we move on and put a pin in the super chats again, David Fitzsimmons says for $5, have to realize there's a long, petty, and messy history to Bethesda buying the IP of Fallout from the original team, one that's too long for a super chat. Yeah, that may be worth looking into one of these days. Paul, you're more familiar with the games than I am. And hopefully we have Yellow Flash coming in later. Maybe he can speak a little bit more to it. I know that he was busy, but he would come in when he had the opportunity. Are you familiar with the details of the Fallout? Because I know that Bethesda didn't create it, but they have it now, which means that at some point in time, Fallout went from being created by Bethesda or from not being associated with them to being made by them, which means at some point there was an acquisition. Now, how messed up was it? I have honestly no idea.
No, I've heard rumors about it. I know that the first two games were made by another studio. The third one, after Bethesda bought it, they made Fallout 3, and then Oblivion made Fallout New Vegas. And that's pretty much all I know. I know the Obsidian one, there is some controversy between Obsidian and Bethesda, but again, it's just corporate stuff, and who cares? Right? It's the usual stuff that goes on when IPs are purchased by larger organizations. And then Bethesda got bought by Microsoft, I think. Is that who owns them now?
Oh, that would suck if it's Microsoft. They may be. I have not yet had time to read up on who owns who of movie studios. If it's Microsoft, that freaking sucks.
I gotta
But no,
remember.
it can't be, because Fallout isn't exclusive to Xbox. Fallout is across the board. I would imagine if they were owned by Microsoft, they would be doing Xbox exclusive, unless of course you have prior deals. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Feel free to look it up.
In March of 21, Microsoft acquired Bethesda's parent company, ZeniMax.
Uh-huh.
That's right, because ZeniMax bought Bethesda. I think during the massive, no, that was BioWare, was Mass Effect. Oh, you know what? I can't even keep track of this stuff.
We need to do a separate video.
It's a subsidiary of a conglomerate of an umbrella group owned by 12 super conglomerates,
right?
All owned by Amazon,
By the World Economic Forum
and Disney.
In the ultimate end, yeah, it's the World Economic Forum by way of BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street.
There you go.
Yeah, or as it's also known, tax evasion,
and a subsidiary of.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Indeed.
Sumner
and then to
in
round
holding
up
of, in form of another entity adjacent and adjunct to it.
Yeah.
A completely different LLC.
That's right. LLC underneath.
Yeah.
Another.
Planar Aspect gives his review of the finale, saying she spends it crying and it's enthralling. Yeah, you're not wrong, but there were some revelations.
You know,
we're watching.
We're goofing around, but you almost need a map anymore to find out who owns what, and because everybody owns so many, and they're all just like a family tree going all the way to Amazon, basically.
Oh, you were goofing? I thought you were being serious.
No, I'm not kidding.
I know, but you might as well have been.
No, that's what we got now. Like,
that's
you literally have basically Amazon, Walmart, and pick your next big company here, and all the other companies are just trees down from those.
Okay, and that's when it gets scary.
It's like in the same thing in the food industry. You got like Nestle and
again, look at who owns those.
Lever.
And, Tom froze up there. But anyway, Master Clockwork sets for $5. Paul, New Vegas took place in 2281, while the show takes place in 2296.
Okay.
With the bomb dropping on Shady Sands right after New Vegas. Yeah, I did read that.
Okay, I will take your word for it. I was just reading someone else who had mentioned that it was before, but obviously I don't care. I don't care enough to memorize it.
Yeah. And Bass Player 2011 EFI sets for $20. Without going into too much detail, Fallout 1, 2, and Tactics was made by Interplay, and it was originally a point-and-click game.
Mm-hmm.
Bethesda purchased the rights to Fallout in 2007 and turned it into more of a shooter, aka they made it more commercial. Nothing wrong with that.
This clip was taken from Midnight's Edge in the Morning, which streams live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific Time on the Midnight's Edge main channel. There, you can send in your live questions and comments before clips and full stream replays are uploaded to Midnight's Edge live archives. We are also on Twitter, Rumble, Odyssey, and Facebook, so smash that like, help share, subscribe, and join us.